dude, mama, 'cause I done do what you wanted me to do. Yes, I'm a real dude, mama, 'cause I done do what you wanted me to do. Lately, I've been reflecting on what I was like originally, like before I hit Toronto, just my innate nature, maybe just a kind of a innate joyfulness with life that I think still comes out in the music. It was always very athletic, very dancey. I remember in the 70s doing the bump with my older sister's girlfriends. I was like 10. So I was, using music to dance and to be around girls. When a man loves a woman, he'll do anything that she asks him to do. Oh yeah. When a man loves a woman, he'll do anything that she asks him to do. Oh yeah. I grew up in Victoria, BC, so I was like puttering around like by the shoreline. We moved around a lot. We went from Victoria to Halifax, then to Ottawa. And in Ottawa, they had detentions, which I wasn't used to from Halifax. There's no such thing as detentions there. So anyway, I was late for school every day. So then they tried to kind of make me stay after school. And I remember just, telling the principal of the school, honestly, there's no way I'm actually gonna come. Let's be straight with each other. So he just kicked me out. And then when I got kicked out of school, I went home and they kicked me out. And then, so I moved to Toronto. And I was like 16 and got a job right away, had no problems. Started playing music, just jamming with friends. And I was happy that I got kicked out because I was itching to be on my own anyway. Band is just whatever you guys agree on. It's like a fresh start. It's like it doesn't have the morality of the religions before you unless you want it to. It's just communication and it's fresh and it's new, a band. The Phantoms started in Ottawa in '85 and then by '86 we were established in Toronto. And we didn't have a promo kit or anything. We just started writing songs right away because I had all these ideas that I had written down and melodies and stuff. And then the band all had musical ideas. So we just put all our ideas together, moved to Toronto, and started getting gigs right away. Because when you're young, you just got that energy coursing through your body. You got to be real with it. So punk rock, the whole energy was appealing, but I didn't feel like dressing like a punk rocker, and I didn't feel like as violent as a punk rocker, but there was a certain anger at just the phoniness in society and even the puffiness of certain rock bands that just seemed so puffy to us, that we just wanted to just put together something a bit more physical. The music that I wanted to put in there was blues. So like we speed up the blues and just, or the Neville Brothers or something funky, but we just put ourselves into it and that punk rock energy into it. And I wanted to be original and creative, but also honor the past. So kind of, that's my thing that I think is two opposites that fit together that I have is like progressive, traditional. Like I like traditional, but I don't like pure traditional. It doesn't interest me to copy Little Walter, but I'll take a little bit from all the traditional guys and put it together in a new way and make something progressive from the tradition. So.
All right, I know it's time. It's time to delve back into our unglorious past and murder some blues. This is our blues. It's about as bluesy as we can get. 3 big chords, and let's see how many ways we can stretch them out.
I remember Keith Rudick was practically a member of the band. He was actually our roadie, stage guy. He was really kind of like part of the band because we used to travel with him everywhere. I remember we had a meeting and he came in and said, let's do a new album. I know the song. He had a vision and I liked it, and he wanted to record a song, Loving Me to Death, and I just thought, oh, this is a great meeting. We're moving forward. And then Big Ben quit because he wanted to go from playing bass to doing sound for Jeff Healey Band. And then there was still 3 of us, and then Joe quit. And then Joe is, he's one of the best singer-songwriters I know. He was an influential friend of mine. You know, we wrote a lot of good songs together, and we had a lot of fun on stage. And we were very different. He would be like fire, I'd be like water, you know. And but together, you know, we kind of made something for people to enjoy, you know. Yeah. So I was like, can't hold him back, you know. So I didn't complain. I just thought, wow, that's really surprising. I didn't think the Phantoms would just end like that. And then it just kept growing and changing.
By the time that I got home, I crept across the kitchen floor, which woke my baby Jane. She stared at me in silence, then she began to say, I can tell from your smile, and by the time that you got home, you got to decide, either me or Jerry Stone, either me or Jerry Stone, either me or Jerry Stone. It didn't take a minute, I was down on the floor. Janie, babe, I love you, please don't you be sore. I promise not to drink and smoke and snort forevermore. She took a pillow from the bed, made a blanket on the floor, said you got to decide, either me or Jerry Stone.
The blues is a language that once you understand that language, you speak it. And a lot of rock guys I play with, man, they sound bad at the blues. And they think it's easy because logically from the outside, if you don't really get into it, it's like, wait, it's a 12-bar pattern. It's pretty standard. But when they play it, to me, it sounds like they're plowing. Like they're just trying to get from point A to point B. I'm like, guys, listen, like every 12 bars should be different. If we're really listening to each other, we might pause before we hit that note. Like, so there's, when you get into the blues, there's all this like little subtlety within the simplicity that makes it burble like a creek. And it just makes it come alive. And then it's this really fun expression where you just respond to everyone and it never sounds like plowing, like just plowing through. It's always like trickling and alive, you know? So once you know the language, it's fun. I mean, we stick together because it's just something that we all have in common. You know, like Pat Rush, I could just pick it up with him in a minute. I haven't played with them in a while, but we both kind of hold the same values and the same rules of the blues, you know? So blues, it's just kind of, just listen and play, just see where the journey takes us. So it's really easy to come together around blues. I have always wanted to give something fresh to the blues, and I haven't seen many people come at it from that angle with meditation, right? Like, so hopefully that's going to help me give something fresh to the blues. Basically, you know, when I go away for a 10-day retreat, I'm just examining everything in my body, which is tied to old experiences, maybe even beliefs. So to see all that stuff objectively is really helpful as an artist. I mean, meditation, I mean, you see your own suffering, and through that, you know, you can tell it's from ignorance. It's from some thought or some belief that you hold that actually doesn't really work very well. And it's just maybe a coping way you coped before in life to get through situations. It might have been being forceful, being bossy, and then you start to go, I don't have to be that way. You know, now you can sing about it because you really understand it, you know, and then hopefully it makes you just more gracious with people and have like more harmony in the band, which, you know, a band's always going to sound great when everyone's happy and everyone's getting along and everyone's being treated fairly. So I'm going for that level of things now.
And then, you know, I used to meditate up on the hill here in Sutton, in the Vipassana Center. They moved it out. So when I came out of there, I was completely fresh. I was like,
I don't have to play harmonica. You know, I'll just do whatever the world needs. And you know what the first person told me? Would you play some harmonica, please? Cheap wine and cigarettes. Cheap wine and cigarettes. How am I gonna make it through the day without my cheap wine and cigarettes? Cheap wine and cigarettes. I'll have to find a brand new way to die. I'm walking down this gravel road, the stars dance in the sky. But deep down in my heart, I wanna cry. Well, usually I take either 440s, which is standard tuning, which I think history started 440 tuning in, I think it was Germany in the 40s. They said, we're gonna make 440 the standard. 432 is kind of nicer and it's kind of being revived. So I've changed all these harmonicas to play in that temperament, which apparently the Stradivarius violins are tuned to this temperament, and ancient Egyptian instruments that they find are more closely tuned to this temperament, 432. To me, it sounds a lot nicer. So I have an agreement with my band that will play in 432, but any other band, I'll bring my 440s. So right there's two sets of harmonicas. Then, say we're talking 440 now. So we just took half and left them at home, right? Out of the 440 harmonicas, I've got standard Richler tuning, which has been around for 200 years. Then I've got standard Richler tuning with extra reeds, which they just invented a few years ago. Brendan Power invented extra reeds. So now I can bend any note, which was never possible before. I also got other tunings. A Lee Oscar one is called Natural Minor, which I use a lot. It's like a different tuning. And then another one that Brendan Power discovered, he invented it, is called Power Bender tuning. It's similar to a guitar. You have regular tuning, just the way that everybody plays, and then all of a sudden, you know, Keith Richards discovers these blues guys have been using open G. They just change the strings to different notes. You have to put your fingers in different places, but it sounds great once you learn it. I've got those too. This one I like because it's a power bender tuning. It's I like that one because it's a neat tuning. And then here's my lowest harmonica. In a 9-to-5 job, you're trying to keep your job and you're trying to keep security. In music, it's never been about that for me. I've had times where I felt like I've seen managers of bands I was playing with in the audience look at me like, don't pull a takeover move. And then like, to me, I know I'm not trying to take over the attention. It's not an ego trip, but the music right now is compelling me to jump up and down, do a dance, and like blow the roof off this place. So I just do it. I'm like, fire me if you don't like it. Because everything is telling me to do this except for job security. Like, it's not that important. And in the end, you realize it was just my own fear. I didn't get fired. I got promoted, you know, and funnily enough, I mean, if in certain circumstances, maybe I'd have to be humble and care about job security, but I can't place it that high for me on my list. There's just higher principles that need to be adhered to. And for some reason, when I stick to those guiding principles, honesty, spontaneity, just feeling like it would be a joyful release kind of thing, those other considerations like, you know, job security, they end up not being jeopardized. I don't know how to answer that. It just is. It just works. Maybe because your mind is focused as a musician, that's pleasing. Like, try focusing, like meditation. It can make you uncomfortable at first, and then it makes you happier. So as a musician, I'll feel good from just pumping air through this thing that I live in. You know, the thoughts in music are usually purified because, again, you've thrown out the no's and kept the yeses, the ones that feel real. So then, you know, there's probably an aspect of it that I don't understand, which is vibration. I don't claim to understand that, but I do play with it, like, you know, 432, 440, and I find the vibrations of 432 healthier and just more like a campfire-y, woody kind of vibe. So, you know, in my own limited way, I guess I do react to the vibrations of it. I definitely see a lot of people kind of that their jobs maybe require them to think in a bit of a structured box and not to go outside of that. And all of a sudden they come to a show and like we're talking about, it's like religion to them because we're talking about stuff that actually happens in the heart, you know, and at work, they're not allowed to think of that. It's like, do your job. Don't think about how you feel. And all of a sudden we're like reminding them of these episodes in their life. That's a big thing for them. It's like church. It's like, I get to feel the joys, the pains. I get to reflect. I get to sort them out. So maybe, you know, that's probably valuable for people. Dancing is, you know.
If you want love, you've got to be the greatest man she's ever known. She will test you and she'll taunt you, but you won't sway from the path that you have chose. If you want love, you've got to be happy in your blue jeans. She will test you and she'll taunt you. She'll hit you and she'll haunt you. Take you places you've never been. People say that I'm lucky because I have a wife and child, but they don't know the price I paid to tame the tiger who once ran wild. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the jungle of the night. What a mortal, I can see the tiger in eternity. And what God on the planet high made us see up in the sky.
Listen, we love you. Thank you very much.